Weather is really just perfect for getting out and having a nice walk. It's a holiday here today. Today is the Emperor's birthday. The former emperor, something I think happened for the first time. The emperor retired rather than serving as emperor until death. This time the emperor decided that the duties were more than he could perform at his age, and so, which I can't remember what that was now, into the 90s, I think. And he decided to retire. And so, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, he abdicated his throne. Is that the proper term for that? And the son took over. And so it is now year number 3 of the Reiwa era. I've been in Japan for, well, let's see, quite a while now. I came during the Showa Emperor's reign, the end of the Showa Emperor's time. And then it was Heisei, and now Reiwa. Really makes trying to keep track of events a little bit tricky. Sumimasen. Because, for example, my driver's license expires, I think, in Heisei 35. So the 35th year of the Heisei era. But this is now year 3 of the Reiwa era. So even though it says the 35th year, it's of the previous era, and so you have to calculate. To be honest, I don't know when my driver's license expires. It's not for a couple of years yet, I know, but it's tricky like that. Anyway, at least I don't think it expires yet. I have to check that. Anyway, here we are out taking a nice walk. We, meaning me and my wife. There's my wife. Hello, wife. Taking a nice little walk around Kumamoto, Japan. Let me change the camera around rather than you watching my mask face. Let you see what I'm seeing, more or less. The streets of Kumamoto. As you can see, blue sky, just a few wispy clouds here and there. Really perfect weather. It's not too hot, not cold by anybody's standards, except possibly my wife, who is Filipina, and doesn't take too much for her to feel cold. But it's a wonderful, wonderful day today. So we're gonna take this opportunity to get a little extra exercise, walk to one of the nearby shopping centers, do a little shopping. I guess that's what you do at shopping centers, right? Do a little shopping, and then walk on back home. Get that exercise that has definitely not been sufficient during this time of COVID. My waistline is proof of that. Well, you can see the sidewalks here. You can see this is actually the just cement coverings on the runoff uh, beside the street here, beside the in the sidewalk. Just cement coverings with gaps in between there to let the rain, the water overflow, go through there. Here they're part of the sidewalk. At other places they're beside the street, as in the street gutters, but they're covered. Every once in a while, though, you'll find sections where they haven't been covered, especially in the rural areas. And it's embarrassing to say, but during my first times driving in Japan, I actually dropped a wheel into that gutter because I just wasn't used to there being open gutters, basically street level, right there on the street. Fortunately, I was driving a tiny little Japanese, what they call a K car or a light car, small engine, small passenger space, and you do that basically because you get a tax break. It's much cheaper. And I believe you don't even have to have a registered parking space. If you have a full-size car, you have to know where you're going to park it. So with a K car, at least it used to be, I'm not sure now, K cars are so popular, but I think it's still the case. With the K car, the light car, you don't actually have to have a registered parking space for your car. I don't know where they think you're going to park it. So insurance is not that much difference, but the taxes, licensing, and so on are significantly less than a full-size car. But I don't really drive very much anymore. I used to live in a small town outside of Kumamoto City. And at that time, I was driving every day. I would drive, maybe 300 miles a week. Maybe a little more than that. Now,
Where are we going first?
where are we going?
Aeon?
Where?
Aeon, then Yomitang.
I think that's easiest to hit it on the way back. Yeah. Oh, now I lost my train of thought. Oh well. Whatever it wasn't that important, I'm sure. There's a Family Mart, one of the popular convenience stores in Japan. Japan has 7-Elevens, or 7 and I Holdings, or whatever they're called these days. It used to be the standard 7-Eleven. They still refer to it as 7-Eleven, but I think the name has officially changed. And there was another bus. Lots of buses here. Very convenient. Of course, there's a train that runs through town. Also, there's train, the Japan Railway Systems train, as well as the Kumamoto City streetcars. Yeah, that should be one of my broadcasts to show you the Kumamoto City streetcars. We're not actually too close right here. Oh, we will be though. Yeah, that's right. We're going to walk to a location where we can probably see some streetcars. One of the nice features of Kumamoto. The streetcars, a reasonable transportation. If you happen to be near to one of their stops and it's going in the direction that you want to go, but it's fairly limited. Just one main track with another spur that goes off to the other main train station. So the main line runs from Kumamoto station and runs through town to the other side of town. And the spur breaks off after passing through the center of the main part of Kumamoto, breaks off and goes to, what is that? Kita Kumamoto Eki? What is that? Northern Kita Kumamoto Eki? Yeah, the other station, main station, the North Kumamoto station. Oh. Helpful little device there, let you know both visually and by sound that it's time to walk. So visually impaired residents are able to negotiate the streets. It's a nice little walking man there to tell you visually that it's okay to walk. So Kumamoto City, I think, is about 700,000 people. The city. So medium small size city in Japan, at least compared to real metropolitan areas like what? Like Osaka, Tokyo. Yeah, very nice day. Lots of, as you can see, lots of apartments in this area. Yeah, all over the city, really. Apartment life is the standard here. Of course, you get into the suburbs, the outskirts of town. Of course, you find more homes. There are a large number of homes, actually, not too far from where I live. But again, apartments, condominiums are the norm for most people.
We call that mansion.
Mansion, yes, yeah.
It's confusing at first when I came here. Mansion? What's mansion?
That's right. Yeah, my wife was just saying, yeah, you came to Japan and you asked people, oh, where do you live? Do you have your own house? Oh, I live in a mansion. A mansion is, I don't know if you're from my part of the country in America anyway, you hear the word mansion and you're thinking something like the Beverly Hillbillies used to live in. That dates me, doesn't it? The Beverly Hillbillies. So, a huge rich man's palace of a home is a mansion, right? Well, in Japan, mansion is what they use to refer to a condominium, as opposed to an apartment, apartment that you rent. Of course, the mansion, the condominium, is one that you buy and own. There's 7-Eleven and Higo Sekyu gasoline station, obviously. Higo is the old name for Kumamoto. Japanese history, as you may very well know, is quite long. The imperial system has been around for what, 1700 years, something like that. And at some point in history, the current areas that we call prefectures had different names and slightly different borders for that matter. But generally, the old areas map onto the new areas pretty closely. So this area, currently called Kumamoto, used to be called Higo. Higo, yeah. So you see lots and lots of things here with the name Higo. My personal bank is, I have an account. My personal bank account is in Higo Bank. Uh, there's also Kumamoto Bank, right? So both are referring to the same place, just with two different names. So I guess instead of saying Kumamoto Bank and Bank of Kumamoto or First Kumamoto Bank or something like that, which they could do, of course, but again, for that name recognition, that name uh, differential, uh, I think they just redone it. I don't think it's actually brand new. For that name differentiation, they can use Higo in place of Kumamoto to refer to this area. So, as I said, lots of places that have Higo as part of the name. There's some kind of accountant, I believe, if my Japanese is correct. Yeah, the fire department here. Hopefully, they'll have an easy day, an easy week, an easy month, an easy year. For a city of 700,000, I don't actually hear the fire sirens very often at all. Fire trucks might roll if there's a bad accident somewhere, like on the some high-speed section of the street or something like that. But basically, you don't hear the fire engines being called too often. Fukunaga GB, what is that? Anyway, it's the, oh, there we go. That's another kind of clinic or small hospital. Fukunaga Iin. So I guess Fukunaga Clinic would probably be the more accurate translation of that. Jibika is ears, nose, and throat specialist. Oh, getting warm. Only wore a light jacket, but I do have a long sleeve shirt on. Maybe should have gone short sleeve. But this is not necessarily the major street in Kumamoto. It's one of the large, as you can see, 4 lanes. Headed toward not the middle of downtown, but kind of a parallel main street to the streets that go toward the very center of Kumamoto City. Kumamoto City, in the center of the downtown area, the real downtown area, traditionally a pedestrian shopping mall type of center. 2 streets that are basically a continuation of one street, referred to as Kami-Kumamoto, or Kami-Tori. There we go. Kami-Tori and Shimotori, which basically just means up street and down street. And those are both, the Kami-Tori up street and Shimotori down street are really pedestrian shopping areas right in the center of downtown. The Kumamoto streetcars that I talked about before run right through the center of that. In fact, they're the streetcars, and of course also a street you know, the regular street running beside the tracks. That's actually the dividing line between Kamitori and Shimotori. The dividing line between up and down, I guess. Of course, like in America, there are lots of shopping centers, shopping malls spread out throughout the metropolitan area. So people that take the public transportation uh, often come to downtown. Of course, you can drive your car. There are parking spots, but they're relatively expensive. Another new hospital, another hospital, yeah, with even English translation, Kumamoto Orthopedic Hospital. Okay, and we're coming to Super Viva Home. So I guess we can be American. Kumamoto Castle is 2.2 kilometers, so about, what's that, a little over a mile from here. Kumamoto, one of the nicer castles. I think it's maybe one of the top three, considered one of the top three castles in Japan. Unfortunately, what was it, 6 years ago now that we had the earthquake, and it was rather severely damaged. Um, no, I don't know. Let's walk around. Can we go in here? I guess we could go in there. I will get more exercise. Anyway, as I was saying, Kumamoto Castle one of is considered one of the top maybe 3 or 5 castles from the feudal period, left over from the feudal period of Japan. It's very nice. And about a month from now, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depends on the weather, there will be the cherry blossoms, which are particularly beautiful around the castle. Castles traditionally have large numbers of cherry blossom trees planted around the castle, and so it's a popular blossom viewing venue. Okay. Of course, those of you, if there's anybody in England, nothing looks strange at all. People driving on the left side of the street or passing people on the left side. If you're an American like I am, it might take a little bit to get used to seeing people driving on the wrong side of the street. Supposed to be driving on the right side of the street, right? Okay. So there's the streetcar, the Densha, the electric car, right? Which, as I said, this is the one main track going through the center of Kumamoto. This one is heading toward the outskirts of town. Coming the other way, of course, we'll head toward Kumamoto Station that I talked about earlier. All right, so I don't know what my reception is going to be like inside the shopping center, so I'm going to end here. And maybe I'll pick up again later on the walk home. Anyway, so for any of you that join me Thank you. Oh, yeah, some people did join me. I'm sorry I wasn't able to respond quickly. Heavenly Dew. Oh, yes, Heavenly Dew. Thank you. Oh, and Pablo. Pablo, thank you also for joining. Yes. Ah, just to give you a last little quick look here at the shopping center, the shoe store there, clothing store. I mean, your basic little shopping center layout might be a little different than typical in these areas of America where I am from, but anyway, this is what it looks like. This is what that Super Viva home, kind of a do-it-yourself draw, do-it-yourself home center. It's a plants, or even lions, plastic cast lions. Anyway, you're, like I said, your do-it-yourself center. We're gonna head upstairs. We were here before, and we got sidetracked, and didn't make it upstairs actually. So we thought we'd take a look upstairs. The basic hardware store down there, and there's more to it upstairs. We have not been here actually since. This used to be more of a department store in this area before it changed to the home center. Oh, camping. They've got camping chairs. Oh, lots of camping equipment, little grills, and so on.
This chick, Coleman.
Oh, Coleman for
It's
2,000 yen.
it's a
So,
brand, I know the good one, right?
yeah, it's only about, what, about 16, 17, $17, something like that. Even cheaper for that one. Forest stage. Yeah, but Coleman is pretty good stuff. Oh, even a Coleman sofa. Love seat, I guess. Hmm. Oh, the Coleman fancy one with the,
Good.
yeah,
There, four. There is
yes.
what do
Oh,
you call this?
yeah, a little side table with a cup holder so I don't spill my beer. Oh, I didn't say that. My beverage. Barbecue grills, yeah. Weber Barbecue Grill. Okay, that's even, I've heard that name. Also in America. More popular style barbecue grills here. Oh, actually the prices aren't too bad here.
We have to look for the oven, ano, shelf. Maybe we can find it here.
Yeah, we might be able to find some shelves. I mean, it looks like they have quite a selection of shelves. Yes, we can look around. Yeah, so Heavenly Dew from Dallas, right? Yeah, from Dallas and Los Angeles. Oh, Los Angeles, I'm assuming you've got some pretty pleasant weather there, but Dallas, what I've heard is Texas is having a bout of cold weather and even snow. How's that going? Yeah, well, about $75
Or
for that.
just like this to put it in the oven top.
Yep, something like that. Although it might be too narrow this way.
Mm.
Okay. This looks a little, this is wider, I think. It looks wider. All right, so we're gonna, yeah, it's meant
So
for,
long.
yeah, but maybe there are choices. I mean, it looks like it's kind of, do it yourself. put it together yourself. You can choose the parts and make your own style if you want to. All right, so we're going to continue this kind of personal shopping. Oh, there's this one, dear.
Mm.
It has the shelves and so on. Again, if we can find.
The side of the oven, just only we didn't know how wide is this.
Right, we have to measure. We have to do our measurements. It's definitely wider than that, though. Okay, I think as I tried to do before, but then got sidetracked. I think I'll end here. So thanks for joining me, Pablo and Heavenly Dew especially for adding your comments. Thank you for that. And I'll see you on the flip side. Bye bye.
Bye bye.